Hey everyone, Weezo here. Welcome to the channel. Today we got a super special guest, an OG content creator of MetaZoo, MetaMahan himself. How you doing,
Yo,
man?
good, good. Nice to
Yeah,
talk to you. This is the first time we've actually talked IRL, I think, but
yeah, definitely. It's really weird talking to you IRL kind of because it's you, but it's not you at the same time.
exactly.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
to say your name, you said Pee Wee's O.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, I really need to change that, I think, because I pronounce it Peeweezo, but it's Peewee Zero. Because when I first started the channel, it was kind of like a gaming channel, and I thought it would be more type of like rebellious to use like a zero and Z and stuff like that, in the younger days.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah,
That's how I
but
say it in my head. Whenever I read your name, I say Pee Wee Zero in my head. So
yeah, I think I might just have to change that later on and just make it into a O, just kind of slip in the little change. Maybe no one will notice.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. How's the weather on the moon, by the way?
Oh, it's pretty cold right now, but we're pretty high up in outer space, so everything's good. The gravity's a little different, pretty lightweight, buoyant, easy to make money up here.
Excellent, excellent. I like that one. Oh, yeah, I'm actually really stoked for this our conversation. Not just because I get to talk to you, but also because the topic we're gonna pretty much talk about Lorcana and how that's doing. That's the new Disney TCG that's coming out fall of next year, so fall 2023. For those of you that don't know, and also kind of how that will affect the MetaZoo market because MetaZoo hasn't gotten out their IPs and everything yet, and I feel like it might be putting a bit of like a time crunch on MetaZoo, to be honest, to maybe start getting out some more teasers of like the animated shorts, the video game, the online trading game type of situation. Yeah. What are your thoughts on that, actually?
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't think all of the TCGs made it in the rocket ship
Mm,
to the moon with me. A lot of
yeah.
them got left behind on Earth, and some of them sank to the bottom of the sea.
Yeah.
And I'd say MetaZoo, it definitely got left behind on Earth. I don't think it sank to the bottom of the sea, really, but yeah, it's definitely a lot of the games are struggling, and Lorcana is like the new kid on the block, the hot stuff, and
Mm,
the big money, obviously,
yeah.
with Disney and with Roth.
Oh,
What's the
Ravensburger.
Ravensburger?
So just
Yeah,
remember like a raven and then a hamburger, and then just remember it. That's how I remember it every time.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
For people like me who weren't familiar with Ravensburger before learning about Lorcana, yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
way to remember it. But
Yeah.
as far as competing with one another, I don't know. I feel like they're so different. I feel like some people think MetaZoo is a big deal at this point, but
Mhm.
I still don't think MetaZoo is a big deal. Like no offense to anyone. I still think MetaZoo is really small. I still think the big boys barely care about MetaZoo. Like I don't think Magic or any of the suits in the Ivory Tower are really spending much time at all worrying about MetaZoo. And I know a
Yeah.
lot of people disagree with that.
Yeah.
I think same thing with Disney. I don't think Disney care. I don't even think Disney's aware of MetaZoo, to be totally honest with you. I think they're trying to compete with Magic.
Mhm.
Um, I also think it sounds like I'm being such a MetaZoo hater right
No,
now,
no, no,
but
no, no. 100%. I know you're not a Mizu hater, and I think that's a good thing as well. It's kind of like constructive criticism at this point. It's
yeah,
and I
I
completely understand you. And I will add maybe a little bit that I think Disney is kind of thinking about MetaZoo a little bit as well. Like I really deep dived into Lorcana a little bit, and then
yeah, okay.
yeah, and there's been quite a few recent interview with like Ryan Miller, which is one of the co-creators of Lorcana, and then there was one statement he made which made me think of MetaZoo, and so he confirmed that Lorcana will not have like convention specific promos that you can't get in the main sets. Whenever I heard of that, it reminded me of like maybe he saw what was happening with MetaZoo. Like there's promo after promo at different conventions, and like even like the first place, second place, third place cards, and second anniversary, and a New Year's New Beginnings. Like they're really playable cards that actually are not that easy to obtain, but you pretty much need it in your set to be competitive. And he's saying that there won't be those type of cards for Lorcana. So they might do what they did for D23, so the Disney 23 convention they did. So they had that little promo. There's like the only distinguishing factor of that card is the middle part. There's a D23 symbol on it. But but he's saying that all 7 of the cards that were revealed at D23 would be in the main first chapter set for Lorcana.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense, right? I mean they know how exclusive the D23 stuff. I'm sure they knew that the D23 stuff was going to instantly resell for like 10x whatever you could get it for, or maybe more than that at this point, 20x or something. But I mean, they knew that, and so I'm sure they wanted to address that and be like, "Hey guys, like, don't worry if you don't get your hands on these original cards. Like, we're going to reprint them. They'll be in the first set." So
yeah, and then
makes sense.
no, it's true. And actually, one interesting thing about so there's 2 different items you can get at D23 regarding Lorcana. First was the Mickey Mouse card, and it came with like a Lorcana pin as well. That one was pretty much if you lined up for the Lorcana booth, they scanned your Disney badge, and then they would give you the card and the pin. So it's pretty much free. And then you also had an option of paying $50 or $49.95 USD to get a box of 6 special holographic cards. And that's where you see like Elsa, you see Stitch, like those cards that we've seen. There are 6 cards in the box, and there have been a lot of discussion now, and it has been confirmed because if you go to like the Beckett site, so BGS, it actually shows you how many cards there are actually of those. So there's actually only 900 of each card, which means that there's 900 boxes.
Wow, that's all?
That's the print run. There's 300 every day. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Wow, wow. If that's confirmed, that's the like silly low.
It is.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
The Mickey card is a bit different. People are speculating maybe like 5,400. And why so specific? They likely did 100 what do you call it? Uncut sheets of it, and then they cut it, and then there's 54 cards on each one or something. Yeah, so that's 5,400. And then, or some people are saying there might be 10,000. So I would say like between 5,000 to 10,000, but that's not confirmed though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's still incredibly low for the set of 6.
Yeah,
that's insane. Maybe I should be still spending $2,000 on a set.
Yeah, I know. The prices just keep
money.
going up right now. Yeah. It's like what? It's
oh
like
my gosh.
2.2 grand now. It's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah. Anaheim's about 6 hours south of me. But man, if I had understood the magnitude of the situation, I would have figured out a way to just drive. I mean, it's not that far. Just drive 6 hours down there, stay a few nights in a hotel, and go to town. But I don't know if you had to sign up early or whatever.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, because like who would have expected it, to be honest, at like a Disney convention of all places, right? It's not like Collecticon or anything like that, where you kind of expect there might be like special leaks or like MetaZoo giving out like tarot cards at the Long Beach Collecticon and all that stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, there was the first like Polygon article and a bunch of other articles like introducing Lorcana, like, hey, Disney's making a TCG. And by the way, our first look is going to be in like, I think it was like that news dropped. And then D23 was like a week and a half after that first news dropped.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And we knew the cards were going to be revealed there, but I guess we didn't know you could actually buy them there. Or maybe some people did, but I didn't. So
I think the box with the 6 holographic cards, like that was kind of a surprise to everyone. I think people knew that they were going to give out samples and stuff like that, but I don't think like to the magnitude that they did. And it's also confirmed that the box of 6 cards that are holographic, so like Cruella, Maleficent, all that, this is the only holo variant of them. When they come out with the card, it's going to be a non-holo variant in the main set. So
no way.
Yeah.
But there will be, of course, holos and cosmetic treatments, right?
So the co-creators, they're very kind of hush hush about that. Like they kind of want to market it as like a player-based game for now, because I don't know, maybe they don't want too much stonkage to go on before the game's even released type of situation. But I'm sure there'll be some collectability aspect, but it seems like they're trying to make it a more like a mainstream, like you said, to compete with Magic, player base and all that stuff.
I mean, you got to put holos in the set, right? There's not going to be.
Sure.
Please, it's not. You can't tell me it's going to be an all non-holo set.
That's true, but like Ravensburger, so they already have a pretty big IP they're doing with Disney already. So it's a card game. It's called Villainous. I don't know
Hmm.
if you played that before. I've seen it before, and I've heard my board game friends talk about it in the past, but I've never played it myself. But yeah, the artwork looks pretty much exactly like like the Lorcana stuff. And well, there's no holographics in them, but they are really good quality. So I can see them doing pretty good, to be honest, for this IP specifically.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think the board games are a lot different. Like most board games I play don't have hollows. I feel like hollows are kind of like a definitely a TCG thing and a booster pack type of thing. So
Yeah,
there's no way there's not going to be hollows and some cosmetic treatments and chases in the first set.
yeah.
That's what I think anyway. But
I feel like they won't go like to a crazy degree, kind of like in Pokemon, they have like the alternate art like V Maxes, stuff like that. Like they have like special type of foiling and special like texturized. So I don't think they're gonna go that far. But like you said, I think some standard foiling should be in store for us.
yeah, I'm super curious to see what they do as far as cosmetic treatments and stuff. I just think there will be a lot of collectors, and I think collectors are always interested in the aesthetics of the cards. So I think
That's
that's always like a really interesting design decision. And
mhm.
I mean, a lot of people have mixed feelings about what Magic is doing right now. And I know Disney's looking really close at Magic. Like they've named Magic multiple times. Like some of the, I don't know, head people who are working on Lorcana have referenced Magic like multiple times. I've seen in some of those interviews and stuff. So I know they're paying close attention to it. But I just think with Magic, they've kind of gone wild on the foils and stuff, especially in the collector boxes. And
Yeah.
they're trying to push collector boxes so much. But when you open them, it's just ridiculous. Like there'll be like 15 foils and you'll just like pass by like the first 6 or 8 foils because they're so not special. And they're like commons. They're like the commons
Yeah.
that you don't even look at, but they're foil. It's like,
So that kind of like lowers the integrity, I think, of the standard set, to be honest. Like before, if you hit like a foil version of a card, it'll be like, oh, it's something special. But with these collector boxes, like it's like you said, they're just kind of like bulk now.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
if you eat candy all 3 meals a day, it's just like, like candy is just like doesn't even matter anymore. It's just like gross. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
candy. I don't give a shit about candy. So
Oh man. Well, I think I can also shed some light on why they reference magic a lot because the co-creators of Lorcana, so Steve Warner is the other co-creator with Ryan Miller. They both used to work at Wizards of the Coast, so they have that magic background. And then Ryan Miller himself, like he also like did some work with Digimon TCG and also like Duel Masters. It's like something that's more popular in the Japan and stuff like that. And there are some pretty interesting mechanics. I didn't go too deep into Duel Masters, but there it said that there's like a 1v1 version and there's like a 2v2. So you never know. There might be like I don't know, like a team combo type of aspect
mm,
to Lorcana as well. And there's some people discussing that there may actually the cards themselves, I think especially on the Stitch card, there's some reference that like there might be like multiple people or at least multiple creatures fighting at the same time type of situation.
yeah, I actually read some of the cards kind of closely, and the Lilo, it looked like that's like the Rockstar
The
version of
Rockstar,
him.
yeah,
So maybe they
exactly.
like evolve to some degree, or you level them up to some degree, which I think is cool.
Mm.
I think definitely what you said is super hype, like multiplayer. Disney, I just think Lorcana's a big deal because Disney is not stupid. Like all these little upstart Kickstarter TCGs, like all of them have like a funny gimmick, but they don't have the resources to really analyze the heck out of every aspect of the market. But
Yeah.
Disney does. They know in a very granular sense, like every little thing that works and doesn't work for a trading card game. And they're going to like leverage all of it, to the max. And so think they realize that like Commander is far and away the biggest format in Magic the Gathering, and that people love playing with they just love a multiplayer game.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Lorcana would want to do something like that, especially when you consider like families playing the game, and
Yes.
maybe there's two parents, like elder millennial parents who love TCGs, but then they've
Yeah.
got a couple young kids, and it's like, oh, let's all play together. And it's like perfect and fun. And I could totally see them
Mm.
carving out like a good multiplayer niche.
Yeah, that'd be pretty crazy. And could do kind of like competitive play as well, right? Kind of like Pokemon. They have like Pokken tournament, with like the TCG tournament, with like I think Pokemon Go as well. Like they have that. Like Pokemon has like was a Pokemon World Championship in London this year, right? Like Disney could
Yeah.
do that in the future. It's they have that platform, to be honest. Like they have a whole convention to themselves, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like the sky is the limit and they can do like whatever they want with it. That's like the crazy there's just like unlimited options for how they can make it successful.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you said.
And they already have a lot of market exposure as well. Like I went into so in Canada there's a toy store called Mastermind Game, oh Mastermind Toys, and then they have like puzzles there. And then because I was curious, I've never heard of Ravensburger before as well. So I'm like, okay, is it are they really that prevalent? And every puzzle pretty much is made by Ravensburger. So they're already in a lot of these shops already. I went to Toys R Us, there was a section for them as well. I went to Walmart, like you can find them anywhere already. Like to wrap MetaZoo in this a little bit, like they are getting that exposure. They're going to Target, Walmart, Barnes and Nobles, etc. Right? But it's still like a small section compared to like an established, I guess, more established IP that's already inside the big box stores.
Yeah, you make another really great point. Distribution. Disney's distribution, it's just automatic. Who doesn't want to carry Disney products? They sell. Like every big box will give them like plenty of space. Whereas I've gone to my own big box stores, I can't find MetaZoo. It's not here. And some people have it, but like I don't. I don't think it's in Targets and Walmarts nationwide, is all I'm saying.
I feel like it should be right. Like I'm still waiting in Canada for the Walmart
Really?
MetaZoo Canada. Smoky, is it Smokey the Bear? No, it's just a wilderness set. There's supposed to be like a special like a maple leaf symbol or something on it, but that was like teased like 2 months ago. And I'm still going to Walmart's like every week just to see if I could find them in the TCG section. But yeah, or maybe you live in like a heavily scalped area like myself, so maybe
That's
someone already took them
fair.
all.
Yeah, I mean, people could be scalping them. I might just not be looking frequently enough or at the right times, or yeah, it could be my own shortcoming not finding it locally, but looked a few times and haven't found it yet. So it's like still seems like a myth to me, but I totally realized that what a big deal it is that MetaZoo even did get into big box.
For
It's like
sure.
it's pretty insane. It's a huge accomplishment.
Oh yeah, you see
Not to,
Pokemon. Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
oh my bad. Not to take anything away
Oh
from
yeah,
MetaZoo. I
yeah.
just think like MetaZoo and Disney is they're not the same, is all I'm saying.
It's true, yeah. I really think that, and this has been talked in other podcasts as well. It all hinges on MetaZoo's TV show, video game, and all that stuff, right? Like right now, MetaZoo is just pretty much just like any other TCG right now, in the eyes of the general public. Like the people that know TCGs, they know about MetaZoo. The people that like MetaZoo, like us, we really like MetaZoo. But in order to compete with the big boys, like you need like a show that, and I think that maybe needs to be a bit accelerated right now compared to maybe focusing on like rugs or other other subsidiary products. I'm sure they're working in tandem, right? Like they're working on this but working on that at the same time. But I feel like there's like a doomsday clock type of situation for fall 2023. But because when Lorcana comes out and if MetaZoo doesn't have like a TV show and all that, they may be a bit overshadowed for that specific time period.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. I mean, there's competition everywhere, all angles in the space, I feel like. So yeah, they've got competition everywhere, but yeah, I don't know. Gosh, I know I have mixed feelings about a TV show too. I think where the TV show will be accessible, like what platforms you'll be able to watch it on, matters a lot. And
Yeah.
Mike seems to be Mike's always trying to flex. Mike is like, don't underestimate me, guys. He's like constantly basically saying that in his posts on
Yeah.
the Discord. He's always trying to flex,
Good old
being like,
Mike.
don't
Yeah.
underestimate my power. And I feel like he was doing that recently. Like, who should MetaZoo partner with? And he was basically saying like anyone,
Yeah.
like Amazon, Netflix, you like who should we partner with? Like throw out any no company's too big for us to partner with. So
Well, I guess that could be a little bit because they got that exclusive with eBay, right? With eBay Live, they're going to be at New York Collecticon. They're like their premier TCG type of situation, and like eBay, like what eBay 8 TCG player, which TCG player 8 channel Fireball, and I don't know
yeah.
which channel Fireball 8. I think they ate someone as well or some kind of website, and yeah, so being partnered with eBay, maybe it really is a pretty big deal, to be honest. So, and it seems like maybe they're gonna have some Spotify influence, maybe with like the music and stuff like that. So, I think that's where Mike was going with the flex.
Yeah, and it may be warranted. Yeah, it may be a warranted flex. I mean, I feel like Netflix is I'm not sure I believe that MetaZoo could literally have a show on Netflix, but I could be wrong. I
But
feel like
everyone has a show on. Like we could have a show on Netflix.
we
Like
could.
we could, yeah, we could. We can make it the meta Wheeze hour. Meta man Wheeze hour.
Man of MetaWeeze.
Meta Wheeze. You
The
know,
MetaWeeze.
might be the next big hit. You never know.
MetaPeas.
Yeah, meta peas.
What do you mean though? Like no one, not just anyone can have a show on Netflix, can they?
Oh, there's like a meme. It's like if you have money, you can
Oh,
pretty much make a show
okay.
on Netflix. Like Netflix will support your idea pretty much. Like that's why Netflix they're throwing out like a million new shows that most people don't even know or talk about, right? But they're gonna hit those one or two big ones that's going to make people go to Netflix. And I think they're going for more like quantity over quality. Not saying that MetaZoo's show won't be of lower quality or anything like that, because I think they are going to be partnered with Netflix from what was like teased like 8 months ago. So I don't know if anything has changed since then, but it sounded like it was like Mike or like some of the MetaZoo staff were at like Netflix headquarters like 8 months ago, and that was it. And then there was like no
Wow.
talk about it later on.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think it's challenging for them because everyone's like, hurry up, hurry up. You know, you got to stay relevant. All the competition's coming for you. You got to get that show out, Mike, get that show out.
Yeah.
But then you really risk like quality. Like I feel like quality is so important. And if the show comes out and it's kind of like janky or weird or the vibe's not quite right, or the characters or the voices or the animation or any number of things isn't quite right, and it's just like awkward, like Sonic
Yeah.
the Hedgehog level awkward. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. You
Then
mean like the Sonic the movie, like the first teaser where he
the
looks
first,
like I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. No, I know what you're talking about.
if it's even remotely like that, then it's like a death knell, you know, like it's just like
That's
really bad. Like, so it has to be good, but I just think they should take their time with it. I don't think they should like rush it.
You know what? You make a really good point actually, because like Disney's already been around for what, like 100 years now almost.
Yeah.
It's like you're not going to be able to compete with that type of what do you call it? Like alumni being alumni, that type of heritage or something like that. Yeah. So yeah, they might as well, MetaZoo might as well just keep on trucking at their pace and then just release it when they're ready.
I guess the only other thing that I think when I think of a MetaZoo show is I'm like, who is this for? Like, I don't know how old you are. I'm gonna be 34 next month, so I'm like pretty old. I'm not really trying to watch like cartoons unless it's like Rick and Morty or like
Yeah.
Simpsons or like some like pretty funny like, you know, almost like
Yeah.
millennial humor nihilism like crazy type of shows that I'm not trying to watch a kids show is what I'm trying to say. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I would still watch Dragon Ball today. I would watch like One Piece. I'd watch like anime today.
Yes.
Well, I guess if it's in an anime style, then it could appeal to our generation. But I'm just wondering, like, is it for us or is it to try to like capture kids' attention or like who is it for?
Like I feel like it's going to be kind of like a teen type of cartoon, like not like to the Rick and Morty level, but I feel like it's going to be something like more like there's a little bit of gore and blood and stuff like that in there, because the MetaZoo story itself, it has tons of like people's skins reverting inside out. They have like double heads popping out, like zombies eating people, like vampires attacking people. So like the content of the lore itself is I can't see it really being for like 6-year-old kids or anything like that. Let's go to all the gyms and win the badges, you know? Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I guess that's just what I'm wondering is like, who is it for and is it going to strike the right tone? And I don't know. I'm so curious.
Yeah, same here. It's but the cards game itself is 8+. So I don't know if that's something that we can base it off of, but I think it will be kind of in an anime style though, because Mike is actually a big anime fan. That's why in a lot of the cards, there's like so much reference to like Dragon Ball, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've seen some artworks recently that they almost do really look like they're portraying what is it, Sam and like Rose or whatever in like a very anime type of style.
Oh yeah, that's I think that was for like the jewelry. Like there was oh no that
Yes, yeah,
yeah,
thank you.
yeah.
Thank you. That's what I saw and really looked like it was like an anime style.
Yeah, for sure. It's I hope it's actually in that kind of style. I really like the artwork that MetaZoo has been pumping out lately in their recent sets because it looks a lot cleaner. Not like boo-booing kind of the original MetaZoo artwork style, but it's a lot more. I'd rather see like the dark outlines and like the clear and crisp tones of a lot of the different colors rather than like the water paint color, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel like the first set or two were like pretty unrefined, and especially some of the cards were like really unrefined looking, and it was just like people almost like a lot of people almost couldn't take it seriously, and that's why a lot of people were like, "Nah, MetaZoo's not for me. Like, I just can't get with the art." You know, like they just couldn't make that leap. Like they're too used to the big boys like Pokemon and stuff being like very refined and like finished looking, and MetaZoo is so kind of like unpolished looking.
But I think like every IP kind of evolves that way. Like I just recently got into the One Piece anime again. I started watching like the first episodes because I wanted to refresh with what's happening. And I watched the later episodes and the art styles are so different. Like the earlier ones just looks like kids' drawings. The later one looks like, I don't know, Dragon Ball Evolution. Is it Dragon Ball Evolution? I don't know. Whatever the newest animes are these days.
Yeah, yeah. That's funny. I haven't I never watched One Piece back in the day. I just like never got into it. So I started watching it recently for the first time.
Cool.
And like I was pretty immediately hooked. Like I thought the first episodes of the first season were like quite good.
Yeah, exactly. And like you said, I think I would prefer to watch something like that quality compared to a rushed version of original Sonic, the movie CGI version of Sonic. Yeah.
I just think it could be really awkward based on who you get to do the voice acting and everything else. So I think they should be careful and make sure it's really good.
Ooh, I heard a rumor that they're trying to get some of the community members, or a lot of the roles will be filled by community members. So like
Oh wow.
they're maybe doing some casting calls or something. You know?
Oh, okay. There's
Yeah,
hope for us.
I
Break
know,
into
right?
our voice acting careers.
I know. So I don't know. I can't make any accents. I was gonna try to do like a British accent, but I'm not even gonna attempt that one.
I feel
Yeah.
like if I listen to British people for a while, then right away I start talking in a British accent just for fun. But hard for me to just pull it out of nowhere if I haven't been listening to it. But
Yeah, 100%, man. Oh, yeah. So I think for moving forward, MetaZoo just really, I guess, needs to, I guess, focus on become a bigger company. I want to say, like they have so much potential. Like, and I'm not saying like, and of course, Mike is leading the ship and he's doing a great job right now. But I feel like he's kind of downplaying of how big MetaZoo can be or how small they actually are now because he keeps saying, "Oh, we're still early. We're kind of still like a small size company and stuff like that." Right? I think like in order to compete with the big boys, like maybe like hire more staff, do more, I guess, company collaborations with different type of yeah, the larger larger companies that have a better distribution network and all that stuff.
yeah, yeah, I think they're trying to do all those things, and yeah, it just takes time. And I think he's right. It is early, and sometimes I forget how small the MetaZoo community is, and I think
Yeah.
sometimes a lot of us forget. And I think it's really small still.
Yeah, that's the thing. The other day I was looking at the Discord, right? And I'm like, oh, I see some new names, but it's just pretty much the same people over and over again. Like I'm friends with a lot of the people, but
Yeah,
yeah,
it's so true. And that's why I think if there is a show or something that's supposed to expand beyond this very small pool of degenerate millennial weirdos like us
yes.
who love TCGs and we wanted to get into this weird alternative one, and half of us just flip and scalp the stuff. We love it, but we also are just flipping it to each other. Like, I mean, if you really want to find people outside that pool, the product being show has to be amazing. It has to be like really good. So
Yeah. How
yeah.
about what do you think of like the arcade game that's coming out soon? That's kind of like will build the IP a little bit, right? Like there should be a story to the IP to the fighting game, right? It's like even for Street Fighter, you fly from nation to nation to fight different people in a world global martial arts tournament. Yeah.
I think it's cool. I don't really know what that looks like. Like, is that gonna be like who How does one play that? Do they go to a physical arcade?
Yeah, you go to like Dave and Buster's. Like Mike confirmed that
Okay.
like Dave and Buster's is considered
Okay.
an arcade type of thing. And then there's like the arcade section and stuff. So it's not like one of those arcades that's like broken down looks like from the 1990s type of situation. It's
Okay,
like
Dave and
maybe like
Buster's, thank you.
like
Yeah,
cinemas
okay.
too. Like in Canada, we have Cineplex and there's like a huge arcade section itself over there. So stuff like that.
Got it. Okay, I haven't been in the movies in so long, but now that I think about it, I think my movie theater does have a small like arcade section as
Yeah.
well. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Okay, I get that. Yeah, I think that could help in a small way. I just don't think that pushes MetaZoo to be like on Pokemon's level or anything. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's a small step in the right direction. I don't think it's like world breaking in any way.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's well, I guess the good news is so there's a bit of an update on like where Mike is with the writing the novel. Like he's taking like a 2 month, I think still like there's still 1 month left of a writing retreat that he's doing. And according to some community members, I gotta shout out to Alan J for getting this information somehow. But Mike's around like 180 pages now. So it's getting there, I think, to have a lot of
Interesting.
content. And I'm guessing like since Mike is writing the book, so can the TV show be made without knowing the content of the story yet? Like, I'm not too sure about that. Like chicken and egg type of thing, right?
No, it's a really great question. I guess maybe he knows like he sees the story in his mind. Like
Mhm.
he knows the whole story. He just has to get it all on paper.
Yeah,
So he could theoretically like almost write the show and
yeah,
work with some folks to write the show before the book's done, theoretically.
true.
Yeah, I have no
Mhm.
idea what his process is like or what his grand vision is like. And I probably need to stop underestimating MetaZoo because based on everything I'm saying, I feel it definitely sounds like I'm still underestimating MetaZoo. And I kind of am, but I just hope it'll keep impressing me.
You know, that's the thing. I think like there's always those times of MetaZoo highs, and then there's like MetaZoo lows, because it's like it really depends on what announcement or lack of announcements there is about like what's happening with the I'm gonna call it. I don't want to call it the metaverse, the MetaZoo verse. Then I guess type of situation. It's yeah, it's going to be exciting times moving forward. We'll see what goes on there. Yeah,
Yeah, so if we could finish up talking about Lorcana, maybe just like hop back there
oh
for a
yeah, sure,
moment.
of course,
You
yeah.
were gonna tell me why you think people are kind of why there's such a robust secondary market for those D23 things. Like
Oh yeah.
if people are still buying them expensive from or how are people still buying them? I see people are still like buying them somehow. Who are they buying them from? And especially if they're so limited, like, do you know? Or
I don't know who they're buying it from specifically, but I'm sure like they all sold out, right? So there's 900 of them. So, and to be honest, I think a lot of them are actually, to be honest, like investors, I'm gonna call it,
yeah,
investor
sure.
flippers type of situation,
Yeah.
because they were. So from an article I read on Friday, like not this Friday, but from when Friday, first day of D23, it sounded like not many people actually went to the Lorcana stand to get like the promos and boxes and stuff like that. But then there was like the Polygon article or one of them, and then they just blew up. They went to Saturday, Sunday, there were like lines and they were sold out like almost instantaneously. They even gave out like all the Mickey promos like really early on Saturday. So I think it's just the news feed and stuff. So people are just buying it on the secondary market. There's so many different groups, right? Like for eBay is only such a limited amount of people that's on eBay. Like most people use now like Facebook, a marketplace, the Kijiji in Canada, I'm guessing like Craigslist in the US, stuff like that, or like
Mm-hmm.
Mercari. So I'm guessing they're getting it from those sources that people don't want to pay like extravagant fees and taxes and all customs or all that stuff. So
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
yeah.
I guess I imagine the supply will dry up pretty soon, and then they'll all be settled, and the market will cool down, and then maybe they'll like spike again in a year when the game comes out.
That's the thing. And there's actually I just saw yesterday night there's a pretty big Pokemon YouTuber Poketuber that I watch. His name's like Deep Pocket Monsters. I don't know if you follow that. His name's like Pat Flynn. And
Yeah,
then
dude, I've been
yeah.
following Pat Flynn for like almost a decade.
Really?
I used to
Wow. Okay.
follow him. I used to follow his e-commerce stuff
Yeah.
and follow other guys in like his circle. So I've been aware of Pat Flynn for so long.
Yeah.
And when Pat Flynn started a Pokemon channel, I was
Yeah.
like, it like blew my mind. It like
It's
literally blew my
crazy, right?
mind. But he
Yeah.
has the
Oh,
highest quality content in like the entire space.
for
So
sure. And
that's always
then,
good.
yeah, on his Instagram yesterday, he actually showed off he has all 7 of the Lorcana cards, and he was like, "I'm pretty into this type of situation." So you got
Cool.
like really big content creators. Like there's other ones like TCG. There's PTCG Radio, which is like a caster for Pokemon as well. Like
I
he's
know
really
him
into
too.
it as
Yeah.
well. Yeah,
Yeah. Good guy. Yeah.
yeah,
He's
uh,
cool. I like his
uh,
accent.
yeah, for sure.
I mean, MetaZoo's still doing well. One thing I worry about with MetaZoo is just how much stuff comes out. And I see some people that are a little bit newer to MetaZoo,
Yeah.
and they're already complaining about product fatigue and promo fatigue.
Yes.
And I think it's cool that MetaZoo releases so much stuff, and it's really impressive too. And it's fun to follow along. Like it creates constant excitement for MetaZoo, and
Mhm.
maybe that's what they're going for. But I worry about some people who do try to keep up with every single release, and then they get kind of burned out.
For
I guess I
sure.
worry about MetaZoo burnout for MetaZoo, but we'll see what happens when Seance comes out. Lower print run,
Like, to
extra
be honest,
hype.
yeah.
What do you think?
I actually think that the main sets, they're all not going to do too well. Like with CN2, starting from like even Nightfall now. So Nightfall, CN2, Wilderness, UFO, and Seance, although they've reduced it from 100,000 SKUs to 50,000, like I think it's still a lot for the community, our community to absorb type of situation. But Mike's been making a case about it, saying that because we're still early, later on when the IPs are coming out and then people at that time want to buy MetaZoo products, they'll be readily available. So I don't really think that Seance is going to do much for MetaZoo aside from just kind of hyping it up for a little while until the native set comes out next type of situation.
Cool. That's
Yeah.
kind of a hot take. I feel like people are kind of split there. Some people think that Seance might save it a little bit with that lower print run, and but man, when I look at the broader like economic situation,
Oh,
so
yeah.
grim, dude. It's like so bad. Like
Yeah.
things are going to keep getting worse and worse, and I can't imagine that like alternative TCGs are going to like suddenly have a resurgence given how bad the economy is going to continue to be.
For sure. Yeah. And actually tying into the, I guess the what's it called? The recession that's going on right now. So sorry for jumping from MetaZoo to Lorcana back and forth again. But so one of the groups that I'm actually in, so there was someone that said that they know Rudy from Alpha Investments, and
Yeah.
that there was some kind of like DM situation going on. Like I won't release any names and stuff like that. That said that it's Rudy's not too bearish into not too bullish in Lorcana because of like the timing of when it's going to come out. So the recession, so next year, fall 2023, that's going to be like the second year of the recession. And usually like TCG cycles, it's in like 3 to 4 years when the next boom comes, right? So I think Rudy's outlook, and also he's mentioned it in a lot of his recent videos as well, is that like we're still pretty much in the recovery phase, and it might even maybe dip down a little bit lower type of situation. So I think that's another reason why Lorcana I think may still be have a lot of room to grow. To be honest, because the Rudy, what's it called, the Rudy investor buffers haven't touched Lorcana yet. Like what they did for sorcery, right? Like
Yeah.
sorcery raised what, like $3 million, but like $1 million was from the Rudy bump. The Rudy bump, that's what it is. So
Sure, sure.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, it's definitely not the best time or the best environment to be launching a TCG. And I mean, Lorcana's coming out in a year and it'll probably still not be looking great, like
yeah,
recession wise, inflation. We're
yes,
expecting a lot more pain in the markets and everything. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I know they're planning for years out, and they're the designers of the game and the heads of the game are saying like we're planning this to be a multi year
mhm,
thing.
yeah,
This game is going to be many years forward, and they're planning for years out. And so, it could be slow to start, but then maybe they'll catch the next tailwind going into the next big boom. So
For sure. And I think that's what MetaZoo's waiting for as well. Like all they have to do is kind of survive right now. As long as they can survive through the long winter of the recession right now, I think the next boom will, like you said, they'll catch their second wind, and more people will join because a lot of people will be coming more into the non-sports TCG market again. And then MetaZoo is a big enough name that people will see MetaZoo and be like, oh man, there's still so much product at such a decent price right now. Let's buy it up.
yeah, I also think it's okay if Lorcana is not meant to kind of be like investor scalper flipper focused like a
Like
lot of our alternative TCGs are. I think without all the flipper people, there would have been no Kickstarter TCG space at all.
yeah,
And
like
I feel like that speaks to the weakness of all of these games, like long term, because I don't know if everyone's going to stick around through the pain.
you know
But
what? Super hot take on all this, like the whole situation. I think, like, I hate scalpers, but I think they're really good for the community. Like,
yeah,
that's how we even got to where we are for the boom. Like you said, without the scalpers and flippers and people that are here for the money, like TCGs would just be like 90s, like using, I don't know, like Charizards for bicycle spokes. You know, it's like, it's like no one really care about this. It's like, it's people like not name dropping, but they're like really big names in Pokemon and Magic and stuff like that that are really hyping up TCGs in general, like at even different conventions, trying to hype it up at more mainstream, bringing in like Logan Paul, bringing in Post Malone, all that. It's it's good for us, right? It's we like the stuff, but a lot of us wouldn't be here. I think if it would, if from just our pure desire of loving the different IPs.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I guess what I'm trying to say is that I think Disney can be okay even in a recession because people love the IP so much and kids love it. And I think they can kind of try to capture like a wholesome family oriented audience that literally just wants to enjoy the product and play the game. And I think they could actually like succeed doing that.
Like how would they do it though? Like I'm just thinking of Pokemon right now, right? Like I know Pokemon added a lot of different alt art and stuff for collectors, but at the heart of it, it's like most stores that you go to, it's parents buying Pokemon a lot for their kids still. It's not like our level of geriatric millennials collecting sealed boxes up to the ceiling and stuff like that. I think most of the products are still being bought by just kids and their families. But at the same time, it's like scalpers have touched it. I can't see any TCG now moving forward not really being affected by this whole secondary market situation.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's totally fine if there are like valuable Lorcana cards and people are selling them on eBay and stuff
Mhm.
and trying to get them early and sell them early for a profit and all that. I just think Disney will be okay if there's less of that happening. And I think they can still have a
I see what
game
you mean. Yeah.
that's like kind of doing what it's supposed to do and just being a game that people collect and enjoy and open. And it's not this whole mania of like making money.
Yeah, that's true. And like we were talking about, they have so many different avenues they can go with, right? Like it'd be so cool if they had like a Disney Lorcana shop, TCG shop at Disneyland itself, or like the different Disneylands, right? And then they have like a play area that you can play it at. Like they could do so many different things. Or they could just go big. Like have you played Hearthstone for Blizzard? It's like
Yeah, I
a
played a
card
ton
game.
of Hearthstone. Yeah.
Yeah, right when they came out, it was like so huge, right? Like it kind of like right now it's Overwatch tournaments that are big for Blizzard, but before it was Hearthstone, and Disney could do the same thing, and it could maybe, yeah, you know what, you could even go digital version, right? So I don't know.
Oh my gosh, I know. That was like one of the first things that came to my mind. I'm sure they have the money to do that. Although then I don't know if I don't know how that affects Ravensburger. Is that what it's called?
Ravensburger, yeah, Ravensburger, yeah, no, you got it.
I don't know how that affects them and their partnership. It seems like they have a pretty clear partnership. And then Disney would have to partner with a different studio to get out the digital version of the game. You know what I mean?
That is true. It's kind of like
Like, I don't
I'm
think that's Ravensburger's specialty at all.
that's true because kind of like when Hearthstone came out, World of Warcraft used to have a TCG game, right?
Yeah,
Then it just
yeah.
got replaced by it just died when Hearthstone came out. Like the Worldcraft TCG just died. So it might be, you know what? Yeah, maybe it's best they don't have one of those like that situation again. It's kind of like internal struggle type of situation of which avenue is going to be more successful.
Yeah, I just don't know if it would alienate their partnership with Ravensburger, or maybe that's written into the contract they have with Ravensburger that hey, like this art, like we could repurpose into digital cards, and like you have to be okay with that. And I mean,
Yeah,
Disney's the big boy, and Ravensburger is just stoked to like
yeah,
continue to get to work with Disney on more projects.
yeah,
So they would probably be okay with Disney working with like a digital studio to develop the game, but
yeah.
I almost feel like they just don't have any plans for that at all right now. But
True. Or it could be kind of like what Nintendo did with Pokemon, right? They just kind of ate the TCG into themselves. Like they just did it themselves. Like before Wizard of the Coast was involved. And then Pokemon TCG is made by Pokemon now. And Pokemon TCGO is, I don't know actually who does Pokemon TCGO, but I'm guessing it's maybe not such a huge outside source that will have some internal conflict situation.
yeah, no, it's really fascinating. Um, I think digital TCGs are like a big deal still, and I think
Oh,
there's
yeah.
so much money there if you make good ones.
Yeah, like
But
Magic Arena is huge. Like I've heard that they make so much more money than maybe like even what they sell in person, like the sell through their TCGs in real life.
yeah, I thought that Wizards and or Hasbro gave out some numbers, some sales numbers to shareholders like in the past few months, and a lot of people were talking about that. And yeah, I can't really remember what people ultimately said, but I think paper still makes way more money than Arena, but I think
Yeah,
Arena does make like stupid money still.
yeah. Oh, I think that's the third party statistics. It's something Fox, Alta Fox or something like that. They wrote
Alta
like a
thought, yeah, that
yeah.
sounds familiar.
I think that's the one. That's I heard in some other podcasts before that AltaFox had gave some numbers about like Magic Arena compared to their actual TCG sales. So I think it could be that one.
Okay,
And then
okay,
it was kind of like a recommendation for Hasbro moving forward type of situation. With
got it.
yeah, I should call out shout out the where I heard this from. It's from MetaZoo with you. So that's a kitchen
Yep,
tabletop TCG.
they had a really good discussion about it. I'm sure they know more about it than I do. I'm just talking out of my ass, but
Same
it
here.
like
Talking
the
out to
gist,
us. Yeah.
yeah, the gist I got from their discussion was that paper is still far and away Magic's biggest revenue driver, but Arena is definitely profitable, and I mean, why wouldn't it be?
Yeah.
You don't have to actually print anything. I know developers are expensive and all that, but but yeah, I guess I look at other digital TCGs that almost seem like they've been somewhat disappointing, but I guess I don't know their actual numbers. Like I'm thinking of, do you know what League's digital TCG is
Oh,
called? I can't
oh
remember.
man,
I
I
even
forgot
played it
too.
when it came out.
Yeah, I forgot, but I know what you mean. The League of Legends. We just call it League of Legends CCG. I can't remember the name from the
Yeah,
top of my
yeah.
head. It looked okay, yeah, but then I never heard really anything about it, to be honest. They're like,
It was like solid. It was
it
like a
was pretty good.
pretty good game, but sometimes I check it's like Twitch viewership, and it pulls like a couple thousand viewers like normally, but like way less than Arena does, less than like a lot of games do. So I just
Yeah,
wonder how successful that actually was, or if the digital TCG market is as big as I think it is. Maybe
but
it's
I
not.
I think it's just like comparison with League of Legends itself, right? I think more people, I think, are into video games like Fortnite, League of Legends. So that compared to TCGs, to be honest. And I think like you have the name behind it, but the concept of a TCG itself still hasn't become that mainstream compared
Yeah.
to compared to League of Legends itself. Like League of Legends recently had a what's it called collaboration of Lil Nas X, and that was pretty interesting too. So it's just like they got big names behind them too. Like Imagine Dragons did their world championship like what, like 8 years ago? They were like still pretty small, right? So
Crazy.
yeah, like there's still so many collaboration opportunities for MetaZoo in that space. You just have to hit it big with one of the, I guess, the big content creators right now, or one of the superstars, I guess you can say, and then that's all it takes, to be honest.
Yeah, they need Logan, man. Logan's the only answer.
I don't know. Logan's already kind of like I don't want to say he's dried up, but like his clout has already been dried out, I think, for the 2020 boom. Like he did a solid for the TCG community, but I don't know. You can keep going for it to Logan for that.
Nah, dude, that's fair. I actually totally agree with you now that you say that. It's like that was such a lightning in a bottle moment.
Mhm.
That like late 2020 Logan thing, or that like
Yeah.
how I think it was Halloween 2020 Logan Paul. He
Yeah.
just blew up the whole TCG world with his box breaks and stuff with
Mhm.
Pokemon. And then you've got Post Malone with Magic the Gathering. Magic just is obsessed with Post Malone. They're so stoked that Post Malone likes Magic. Um, so MetaZoo needs a person of that caliber or similar. I mean, they're not
Yeah.
going to get like a Post Malone, I don't think, but like they could get someone like pretty big.
Like, and I do know, like, I think so King MetaZoo, so which is King Pokemon. I remember seeing like he held those different MetaZoo events, and was trying to get like Logan Paul and Post Malone into it, right? Like they look like they enjoyed the cards, but I don't think like there was that like lightning in a bottle effect on them type of situation, right? But the MetaZoo has Aoki, you know. Steve Aoki himself is big enough to carry a lot MetaZoo pretty far.
That's a good point. You're right. I feel like Steve is supposed to be that person.
Yeah.
I just don't know. I don't totally know if he has been, but maybe he has. And I'm really like underestimating the influence that he's had and how many people he's brought to MetaZoo. I just think he's like a pretty busy guy, and he does a lot of things, and like music is his like foremost thing.
So,
But the collab was really cool. The CDs were dope.
oh yeah, Hero Quest.
The
Oh yeah,
Hero
that's
Quest CDs were really cool.
oh man, that set is a banger. Like I actually think that MetaZoo needs to do something similar with all their sets. Like to reintroduce like Hodag, Mothman, Piazza Bird into the sets, you know? Like I think that's why Hero Quest was so popular. You have all the original Cryptid Nation cryptids in there because like wilderness, like you lost that. You don't have like UFO, like who are you chasing really? Seance. Like I think that's a big part of it. I think you need like a Charizard for MetaZoo that just keeps reappearing and that gets people pumped up all the time.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I think that's why Hero Quest did so well.
Mhm.
I mean, they had the bangers from every set. I mean, they had it had
Yeah,
Snipe.
yeah. They had
There's a
one.
version.
Yeah,
Snipe made a couple of appearances, I think, on like one weird spell. Snipe is there. I think
yeah,
there might be like a Snipe card as well. And then you've got like Wendigo, and
yeah.
you've got some of the bangers from Nightfall. So Hero Quest was awesome because, well, one, every card was full
That's
hollow.
true
Who
too.
doesn't
Yes.
love all cards, every single opening being full hollow?
Yeah.
But yeah, also it was kind of best of both worlds where they brought back all the most popular beasties and basically reprinted them with the, because like even Loveland Frogman and stuff, like I saw someone just yesterday playing with a Hero Quest Loveland
Oh.
Frogman in their like water control deck, you know? So it's like you can slot those into your decks that already play them, and it's
Mm.
just like a super blinged out version.
For
But
sure.
then Hero Quest also had brand new cards that we've never seen before. So
Oh yeah, definitely. Because it matches kind of like the Hero Quest IP of Aoki's, right? Which did you see that the Hero Quest music video with that kind of went with one of their big songs. It's kind of like posted on the Discord. I don't know
oh
what the
dang.
song's called, but it's like Aoki with some guy called starts with an M. I totally forgot the name of the guy. But the music video itself is like the cartoon of Hero Quest, right? Which is what I think happens in MetaZoo, to be honest. A lot of the stuff there is kind of like you're on a quest to help out, to find something to defeat a certain enemy, all that stuff. It was kind of like watching like MetaZoo Light, I have to say.
Cool. Yeah, I gotta watch that. I
Yeah.
should definitely watch that. I haven't even seen it, to be totally honest.
Yeah, it's they incorporate a lot of different beasties from MetaZoo in it. So it's just like in itself, it's kind of like an early adaptation of the MetaZoo TV series.
Yeah, so I could really be underestimating again MetaZoo's IP and stuff because yeah, you've got Wendigo and Snipe and those like beasties I'm starting to think of as like
Yeah.
bangers, and I like, you know, they're like characters that
Yeah.
that are real now. So yeah, I don't
It-
know.
Can you think of a banger beastie in UFO? Who would you say in UFO is like the Wendigo equivalent or snipe equivalent in UFO?
Probably the funny pterodactyl thing. There's the funny pterodactyl
Oh,
thing. What's
Van
it called?
Meter,
Yeah,
Van
Van Meter
Meter.
Visitor.
Yeah.
The funny dinosaur with the
Oh
cowboy,
yeah, yeah.
the
The mini T Rex. Yeah.
mini T-Rex, Van Meter Visitor, Men in Black, I guess, but they're not like I don't know.
That's the thing. I like Men in Black because we know Men in Black, like the Will Smith movies and stuff like that, right? Like they're made really big then. But the card itself didn't really speak to me as like a bang, like a hit card for some reason. Yeah.
Yeah, same. I don't know why Men in Black just never really did it for me.
Yeah.
I guess that they're it's hard to like connect with them because they're like all shadowy and like you don't see their faces really, and it's like you don't get to really connect with them as much.
Yeah. Kind of like Indrid Cole, right? It's like
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
there,
Well,
dismount.
you Indrid's like a villain. I feel like you can kind of like connect with a little more. At least you can like see his eyes and stuff.
Oh, fair enough. That's true.
But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, UFO is interesting.
Yeah. And then like you said, Seance is gonna be interesting as well. They're gonna bring back Old Scratch, right? So
Oh,
definitely.
are they? Oh, dang.
Yeah, well, he's been teased and everything, right? So I'm guessing he's gonna be part of it as well.
Yeah,
Maybe
he must
not,
be.
yeah, maybe not a secret rare this time, but yeah,
And then maybe we'll have like a Loveland Frogman variant too. I mean, he's on one of the theme decks, I think.
that's true. I think he is gonna be just like one of those theme deck cards, though. So I'm not sure if he's gonna be actually part of the set type of situation.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah, because the set cards have their own promos, right? The theme deck, sorry, I mean, yeah, and
Right.
then yeah, and then so they're technically not part of the set, but they're like a holographic version that you can get.
Good
Um,
point. Good
I
point.
I remember in one of your earlier videos, you had like that Lake Priestess that you got like multiple hits of, right? So it's kind of
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. Like that card's not part of the Cryptid Nation set, but it's a banger card that people likes.
Yeah, I totally know what you mean now. Yeah, I could definitely see that.
Yeah.
Loveland Frogman could sell some theme decks for sure.
Well, yeah, I guess we
Cool.
talk about a lot of Lorcana and MetaZoo. Is there any other TCGs that's been on your radar lately?
Yeah, I'm still following sorcery really closely.
Mhm.
I'm someone who loves like vintage magic, and I kind of grew up on vintage magic. I was really into vintage Pokemon. Like that was my first TCG ever,
Yeah.
but I dropped that after a few years and got really into magic because I had some friends that were into it. So
Mhm.
I'm so fond of all the OG magic stuff, and nothing evokes like true vintage magic like sorcery, I think.
Mhm.
Like
True.
the art is just so reminiscent. And they actually poached like old school magic artists who
Oh,
literally illustrated some of the alpha and beta cards. And those actual artists are illustrating for sorcery. They're also like working with these really big, nice pieces of art. Like they're like, I don't know, I feel like they're doing like oil paintings and stuff. Like these are like really high quality pieces of art for every single card.
mhm.
From a collectability perspective, I think the game is like really stellar too, because it's like an over 400 card set, and
Yeah.
every single card has a foil variant, and every foil
Oh,
variant is handmade and hand layered. And like they're working with every individual piece of art to like foil it out in the best way possible. The foils
that's great.
aren't, they're like unique for every piece of art
Yeah.
too. So they're just like going ham, and um, the main creator worked on Path of Exile for a really long time.
Yeah. Yeah. I
That
remember.
game,
That's like the Diablo game. Yeah.
yeah, Diablo-esque
Yeah.
type of game. So
Diablo-esque. Yeah.
really professional team, like best art in the entire industry, like hands down. I mean, if it's your style, I know not everyone loves that kind of like vintage fantasy look,
Yeah.
but I think there are a lot of people who are like obsessed with that kind of vintage fantasy type of art.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um,
I actually didn't
yeah,
know about the each card being like having its own type of special foiling. To be honest, I thought it was gonna be like flesh and blood, where it's like etched like what a cold foil is that what it's called? Yeah, and then like every foiling, special foiling is like the same.
yeah, they're having like, I feel like every foil in sorcery is going to be kind of like a cold foil type.
Mhm.
Um, but there's like going to be pretty rare cards, and every single card will have its own foil. And then also, I think they're trying to make foils a bit more rare. So it's maybe going to be like one in four, five, six, seven, eight, like one in a handful of packs will have a foil, which is what I absolutely love too. And what Magic used to do back in the day. And it felt so special because you'd open a whole booster box and you'd get maybe 5 foils or something in the whole box, 36 packs. And it was just like, you weren't always guaranteed a foil if you bought a couple packs. And if you bought a couple packs and you did get a foil, it was amazing. And what would make me more excited than anything is if Magic would somehow do that again. And it's like, all right, this new set, there's only one foil in every in every 10 packs or something, I don't know. So
they kind of do it for like the collector set, right? Like for what's that set called? Kamigawa. For the collector sets, they had the neon ink type of situation. Were you thinking of like that type of situation? But of course, collector boxes are what, like a few $100s, and then that card gets to like thousands of dollars. But maybe like go back to the times where it's like not that crazy priced for the rare.
Yeah, I also get annoyed that there are like 3 different types of boosters that you can get in Magic now. There's the collectors and the draft and the set, and it's like, which one do I buy? I don't freaking know. Just make one and make it good. Why do there have to be so many? Because of money and profit. And it's like the collectors boosters make so much money because they're so expensive. But we have to offer the cheaper variant for people who actually want to use them to draft. And it's just exhausting. And I think a lot of people get exhausted by it. I don't know, man. I like simple things. I'm a simple man. And Sorcery looks like a simple product, but a really well-made product.
For sure. Yeah. Like I'm into Sorcery a little bit as well. So I definitely know where you're coming from. And I think those oil paintings you were talking about was like for like if you did the highest pledge, like you had a chance of getting like a specific one. And yeah, it is a really good concept, I think, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, that secondary art market thing is interesting, but I guess my point is that like every card in Sorcery is based off of like a literal piece of artwork that someone like did with like oil and like and not to say that like MetaZoo isn't that way. I just am not sure that like each piece of art in MetaZoo is commissioned like to the same degree where it's not like as meticulous. I think some of them are sketches or little drawings or watercolors or things that are can be done more quickly, but I mean, not to take anything away from any of those artists.
I think there was a post that's saying like every card that MetaZoo commissions is what, like $300, I think. So like there's no like different variant of like more expensive card versus less expensive card. Like the aura is like the same price as Mothman type of situation.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've got a close eye on Sorcery still. We'll see when it finally comes out. They've pushed back the date until next year. Grand Archive is another one that I backed, an anime style card game, but supposed to have like some Western playability. I almost look at it like an anime Flesh and Blood.
Isn't that just White Shorts? No, I'm joking. No, White Shorts doesn't have the playability.
Fair point. I'm like, I think Weiss is super awesome. I don't know too much about it, but I think Weiss is super dope, and not totally sure how Grand Archive competes with Weiss. I don't know if it can, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think it's like a different category. Like we're all TCGs, but then there's different audiences that you seek type of situation.
One more shout out to like Cryptic, who I think still has a bit of hype, and I think they're doing some unique things. So I think they have a shot, but we'll have to see what happens with the overall market and how fatigued people are with card games in general.
And also the recession and everything. It's a crazy time, man.
A lot of people are just going back to the big games. Like they're going back to Magic and Pokemon, and they're like, forget all this like small time stuff that's going to crash and like not going to be around in a few years. Like I'm not even going to waste my time. I'm just going to go back to collecting like vintage Pokemon or like the, biggest Pokemon and MTG, like, contemporary hits and stuff. So
yeah, and I think that's normal for times of recession, right? People just go back to their comfort zones or things that are safe rather than taking more risks during like a boom period.
Yeah, and it's the exact same in the stock market too. It's like all the SPACs and all the really speculative, ridiculous growth stocks and all that stuff. Like people are YOLOing so much money into all these meme stocks and growth stocks. And when everything crashes and all the dust settles, everyone's like, oh shit, I better go buy some Disney and Coca-Cola and McDonald's because those are the only ones that are like survive, like
Exactly. Oh
Not
man.
really, but like, or at least buy the dip in like Amazon and Google and like real stocks or
For sure. Yeah. Meme stock period has been yeah, it's gone. Left and
yeah,
gone.
yeah,
Yeah. They've left and gone you on the moon. Well, not on the moon, actually. They're back on Earth.
yeah,
You're in the moon, which is a good thing. I keep
yeah.
forgetting that
In
sometimes.
Lorcana.
Yeah.
Lorcana's the only one on the moon right now.
And one more thing I want to talk about is I saw that you got a promo with Dreambook. It's what's it
Yeah.
called? It's called Monk, MetaMan the
Oh,
Monk or something.
oh, geez, man, what is it called?
Yeah,
MetaMan's in the title, so that's pretty
yeah,
cool. It's like MetaMan, something monk. Yeah.
yeah, something Monk. It was pretty cool. It's I really like that artwork. I think it really matches you, man.
Thanks. Yeah. I think I was joking. I look like a pretty boy monk or something. He made me look quite pretty.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
shout out to Dreambook and Philip, like really humbled that he wanted to do that. And that was like, gosh, we must have talked about that like a year ago, like
Man.
so long ago that he was like, hey man, would you like a promo like in exchange for maybe like talking about the game a little bit? I'm like, sure, that sounds awesome, man. Like, and we talked about like what would you possibly like want it to be? And I was like,
Yeah.
could you like I like joke about being bald and stuff. So could you kind of play into the like whole monk vibe or something, maybe a shiny head
Oh,
club, type of deal. So
I always wondered about that. I'm like, do you actually tell them specifically like what you want the artwork to be, and like, do you have a say in what the card actually does and stuff like that, or is it just more of a general idea, like make me look cool when I'm bald, or something like that?
pretty much, yeah. I was just like, make me a monk. He was
Yeah.
like, all right,
All right.
he
Yeah.
did. And it turned out really cool. And those should be coming out sometime soon. So
Yeah.
he'll definitely, I think he'll be selling some. He's going to give me a handful.
Mhm.
I'll give all of them away. Maybe I'll just keep number 69 or whatever.
Yeah.
Because
And
they
42,
are
right?
serialized. So again, shout out to Philip for doing that. That was so cool of him to do. Probably wasn't cheap to have them have that extra customization on the sheet. I think there are only 100 of them.
Oh, cool. Wow.
So again,
That's
yeah, I
very
really
limited.
appreciate him doing that. And shout out to Dreambook. Hope they do well. They're facing adversity like all the other Kickstarter TCGs are, but I hope they make it.
Yeah.
It is a good
Definitely.
game. I've actually played it and it's good.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, I've just seen bits and pieces of it. But they are pretty prevalent, and I know a lot of people talk about it. So definitely a pretty bright future for them as well, I'm sure. But no, thanks so much for coming on, man. It was a pleasure talking to you. I didn't think I would get the chance when I first saw your videos before, but so yeah, thanks so much for agreeing to this. And I thought we had some pretty good discussions about everything.
Yeah, it was really good to talk to you, man. Thanks for letting me ramble so much. I appreciate
Don't I ramble too, so I think it works out that way. It's just a bit of a really long rambling session.
Yeah, well, yeah, we have a lot to talk about, and we both we both really care about these
Yes.
pieces of cardboard, so we should do it again soon.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. Yeah, we're passionate about it. Anything we say is not criticism, it's constructive criticism.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. It's
yeah.
just because we love the games.
Exactly. Yeah. So thanks everyone for watching. Please leave a comment down below of what we talked about today, or if you want to comment about MetaMan's appearance and why he's on the moon, like please leave a comment down below as well. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. I greatly appreciate it. And you want to take it away, man?
Yeah. If you guys have any tips for not being bald, I'll take those too. Drop them in the comments down below.
All right. And
Peace.
I guess see you later, nerds. Right? Steal that from you. See you later, nerds, and keep on casting. See you guys next time.